Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Mage Hand High Five. I'm your Dungeon Master, Casey Pappas, and with me, ranked from least to most likely to be our first ever guest player in a main campaign episode.
This is so specific.
I feel attacked.
Rowan McStay.
Howdy, I am Rowan McStay playing Salome Briar, and I've been here the whole time.
Max Weinberg.
Hey, I'm Max playing Wyatt Forsyth, and I am curious how you picked this order for the ranking.
You're all the first three are tied for last. Robin Langenhop.
Hi, I'm Robin Langenhop playing Hayden Kincaid, and I got catfished into joining this podcast.
I was going to say, I think Robin's actually a little bit higher on this because we did trick them into being here.
You did indeed.
That's actually canon. And last, and introducing Jasmin Malave.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm Jasmin playing You'll See.
Yeah. We're so
God,
excited.
I'm just imagining if your name was You'll See, I wouldn't be able to handle it.
I did not make that joke ahead of time, damn.
Jasmin is a part of the 20-sided Tavern, which is currently playing in New York City.
I am.
It's really fun. It's really good. I saw her in it the other day, and it's really awesome. She's kick-ass. It's so good.
Thank you. Yeah, we're having a fun time. We're doing theatrical live play almost every day, and it's just a goofy, silly, good time, and the audience plays like little Jackbox games and makes decisions for us. So if you're in New York City, please come see us.
It's so fun.
God, that's
And
so
they roll
cool.
a ridiculously large D20, and it's hilarious to see.
The Decider.
Is that what it's called? Does it have a name?
Yeah, that's the name of the
Damn,
dice.
that's fun.
We might have to get a decider on the show. That sounds awesome.
We got to airmail it anytime someone needs to use it.
Just stop recording and then figure out what that dice roll is before you come back.
No, you guys, we can't do this yet.
Costs like $70 to overnight it.
Yeah.
It's fine. We have the budget for that. With that, let's dive right in. Last time on Mage Hand High Five, Dr. Bancroft asked the party for a second look at the amulet, only to be informed of Stump and Tom's departure with it. She mentioned her benefactor, Lord Magister, and High Archivist, Fax, a collector of knowledge in the Badlands and a powerful figure in Echo. You also met with Jack, who filled Hayden in on the history of changelings, a race descended from ancient Tellarans who were changed by the wilds. Their exodus from Tellera, Jack implied, was due to the red-eyed god. The group sent messages via the USPS. Hayden sent a message to Rat, calling him out. Wyatt sent a message to his manservant requesting tutoring in Echo. This request was denied. Salome sent messages to Kate Steenling about Stump's departure and to Tiberius Jameson to declare war. The party was honored at a ceremony where Salome gave an impassioned speech against Threed's tyranny, and Hayden met with Rat, finally beginning to heal the bond between them. Where you are now, you are at the western gate of Twin River. The sun is low in the sky in the east as it is early in the morning. The sky is still tinged with pink, and you have been lent the same horses that you once rode out to find Jack.
Is there a bigger horse?
Wyatt, you do have...
No, sorry, kid.
You do have Bronco, the green pony.
Oh,
Lila and Maggie are there to see you off, as is Daisy, the Diardillo, and Wink, the cat older than God itself. As you are preparing to leave, Maggie is chatting the ear off of all three of you and saying, well, you know, if y'all need anything, you know where to find us. And that's anything, be it, you know, supplies, be it songs, we'll come running.
do you have a bigger horse?
That's a great question. I don't know where to find another horse in this town, dear heart.
Okay.
But I can maybe scrounge one up.
No, it's okay.
as Maggie is chatting, Salome, you are preparing the gear in your saddle when you feel a presence next to you and know that it is Lila.
Ooh, howdy, you're sneaking up on a critter.
Lila says, well, you feeling prepared?
Oh, prepared as I'll ever be, I think.
You got everything?
I think so. Yeah, we got, snacks, weapons, half a plan.
I mean, half a plan is more than you usually have.
Right, I think I'm doing pretty well for myself.
Well, before you go, I got something for you.
No shit.
Yeah, don't make
Sorry.
too much of it.
Sorry, what'd you do? Did you give me something nice?
You see that she has sort of had a package just off to the side.
It's
that
clunky big box somewhere.
this clunky big box that no one has been addressing.
Wrapped.
And she hands it and says, This is to keep you safe.
Oh, outlaw. Thank you. I open it.
Inside is a sword unlike any you've ever seen before. The blade inscribed with runes and carvings of vines. Its thorns jut out to the edges where they meet the blade. The handle is covered in flowers. And as you grip the handle, the flowers wrap gently around your hand, as if the sword is holding your hand as much as you're holding it.
Outlaw, this is gorgeous. Where did you get this?
Now, don't judge the craftsmanship. It's sort of the first sword I ever made.
You made this?
Well, you spend enough time in the wilderness, sometimes you're able to bend the wilderness back to you, and what's metal but some of the deep iron guts of the world itself. And it's people think that metal and nature don't really go together, but they really are two sides of the same thing. And
Aunt Mag's always said you do better in metal than wood.
well, that might be the first thing she's ever said that might be right.
Outlaw, this is really special. I guess I didn't think you'd approve of me going out fighting and all that.
She says, darling, at this point, it doesn't matter what I approve of. And I mean that both in the sense that you're not going to listen to what I approve of, and that, well, I guess you shouldn't. Your path ain't up to me.
I think I give her a big hug.
She freezes in your embrace and then slowly hugs you back.
I think maybe I'll call it Ironwood, after the woman who made it.
Her eyebrows raise a little bit, and for a second she looks touched. And she says, well, if you want to name it some fool thing like that, I can't stop you.
Hey, if I write to you from Echo, will you write me back?
I got a good many letters to make up to you.
Well, I'll write one, you write two. Sooner or later, we'll catch up.
Damn, you're going to cramp my hand before long.
A girl can dream.
She chuckles and says, all right, y'all get out of here.
I love you.
And I love you. Now get. But don't stay away for too long.
Yeah, and I, hug Maggie, nestle into Daisy and Wink. Wink, don't you die on me.
Oh, Wink looks at you as if he couldn't die if he wanted to.
I think he might want to, is the problem.
His one, crusty eye rolls at you. Just like...
All right, y'all ready to get the heck out of Dodge?
Yeah, sure.
I think that Hayden looks over the view of the city one last time, not expecting to see Rat, but just kind of acknowledging that Rat isn't there. And then goes, yep, let's load out.
As you turn, Hayden, You look and you do see a figure in the distance on a rooftop. And you think Rat might have seen you off without seeing you off.
So fucking dramatic.
And you head out. And as you do, Salome, you know that the sword Lila gave you is a +1 long sword that allows you to cast Thorn Whip at will.
That's very exciting.
And the flowers on the hilt. You look, and as you look at them, they wrap around your hand and they are white. And you know that if you were ever in danger, all you had to do was touch the flowers and they would turn red.
Oh.
And Lila would know.
That is really lovely.
Ooh, fancy.
Does that go both ways?
You think it might?
I'm a little less worried about me than I am about her.
Yeah, it does.
That's really sweet. That's got me emotional.
The road stretches long before you. The dust swirls around your heels as you begin the slow march to Echo. Finally, to Echo. All of you think on what Echo means to you. Hayden, what's going through your mind?
Ooh. I mean, Echo was what sent me out into the Badlands in the first place, just looking after Winona. It's the one note that she left for me is just the word Echo, and I've known that she was still around, but I still don't know why she left or what happened, and I have so many questions, almost more overwhelmed with questions than I am excited to see her.
Wyatt, the city of Echo, you've heard stories about. And the stories you've heard about Echo are unsavory at best and deadly at worst. What goes through your mind now that your two new compatriots, whom you've devoted to helping, are determined and bound for this place?
Wyatt thinks about what just happened and all the people that need help, and knows that he left the city in pretty good hands, and from everything he's heard about what Echo's like, thinks that there could be plenty of people there that need help a little more, and just wants to go out there and help people. But he's got to get there first, and complains 10 minutes into this journey that his feet hurt because he's walking more than he's ever walked in his life. You've mentioned a Bjorn. Could that be in play?
Honey, you're like 6'4".
My feet. Oh, I guess we have horses, so never mind. Wyatt's feet do drag on the ground while riding the pony.
I feel worse for the horse than for you.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Salome, Echo stretches before you. What awaits you?
I think I feel some level of peace knowing that my family is behind in Twin River, intact and alive and safe, which is not a feeling that I've had for a long time. And I think looking ahead, Salome's thinking about the promises that she made to the people of Twin River and to the people of the Badlands. And I think she's moving forward with a renewed determination to end things with Threed and to finish this fight.
As you ride on, day turns to night, turns to day, turns to night, and a week passes. The mountains loom in the distance, the far distance. You see their jagged heads lining the horizon. And as the day fades towards night, you see a sign, one of the first you've seen in a bit, letting you know that the town of Thunder Pass is not too far off the main road. And as it is now getting toward evening, you think, well, it's the first promise of an inn you've seen since Twin River.
Y'all, I think we're all a little stinky. Can we stop?
I've grown somewhat accustomed to washing, so I'm very on board with this plan. Also, is there coffee? I'd love some coffee.
This really just looks like a place that Dynamo Tex would stay, so I'm really excited to go.
You turn off the main road, heading down a small dirt path, and as you approach, you see a lonely mountain, Mount Thunder. And in its shadow lays a small one-street town. Some might call a one-horse town. On the left side approaching, you see a small tavern. And in the town of Thunder Pass, you don't even need to name your tavern. It is just called The Tavern.
Love it.
Because there's nowhere else to go.
Oh, Wyatt, looks like they got those swinging doors like in the Dynamo Tex pictures if you want to make an entrance.
You don't even have to ask. Wyatt kicks in the door.
Oh, that's a lot.
I mean, we still want to be polite. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little rude. But Hayden, let's stay back. We'll enter a little bit after Wyatt in case we have to save face.
The doors slam open and then immediately come back towards you as they swing.
Oh, God. Oh.
Ooh, we should have warned him about that one.
They smack back into you, and you hear a, oh, shoot. You all right?
I think so. Hi.
This tavern is nearly empty. There's not a whole lot of people in here. You see one lonesome figure at the bar, and aside from that, the barkeep. The barkeep is a large half-orc woman, and she says, ah, damn, those doors are tricky. You come on in.
Oh, thanks. Let me go get my friends.
Yeah, we all head in.
Make yourself comfortable at the bar if you like. We're still running food. You got in time for dinner if you'd like it, or...
Lorraine here makes a mighty fine stew.
Ooh, is this the lonesome stranger at the tavern?
The figure at the end of the bar speaks. Jasmin, would you describe your character?
At the end of the bar, you see a hat pulled down over the face of what you think is an elven woman. She has deep bronze skin and long black hair that you see coming out from underneath the wide-brimmed hat. And it's a bit messy. And as you look at her in her rather worn clothing and she looks up, you can see her face, maybe a bit road-weary. Hazel eyes peer out with kindness towards your group.
Hi, I'm Wyatt.
Oh, he just ran on up there, didn't he?
Yeah, I sure did.
You doing okay? You seem like you hit your head there.
Oh, yeah, it happens. I've done that before.
Good to meet you. Name's Salome Breyer. This is Wyatt Forsyth, and stranger, what name we going by today?
Oh,
Hayden Kincaid. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Hi, welcome, I guess. I'm Clementine.
Pay no attention to the extremely awkward way in which I was just introduced. It's a whole thing. Don't worry about it.
I wasn't gonna ask.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And I
And yours.
shake your hand.
And she's got a really nice grip.
Wow, that's really something.
God damn it.
Well, what about you? You just passing through, or you live around here?
Oh, you're just passing. You don't know.
No.
No what?
Lorraine sort of looks at the group and says, oh, Sheriff Layton didn't tell y'all to come here.
No, he did not.
Big horned guy. You'd know him if you saw him.
Yeah, he's pretty hard to miss.
Nah, honey, we're just on our way to Echo.
Interesting. You know what? Why don't I get those stews going? And one of the barmaids comes around, a small half-elven woman. Lorraine says, hey, get 3 stews, would you? Lorraine looks at you, Clementine, and the rest of you can try a perception check, if you'd like.
Always.
Yeah.
Sure.
Insight or perception?
Insight.
It's a 16.
Okay.
That is a 27.
Yeah,
Well, that
it is,
beats
Hayden.
me. I had a 25.
Ooh.
Yeah, you all catch Lorraine just look straight at Clementine and tilt her head towards you 3. Like, yeah, me? This?
And Clementine, you can maybe catch out of the corner of her eye making a face kind of, really? Really?
This goes over Lorraine's head, and she's like, okay. She just nods.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of head waving and facial expressions. I feel like a whole conversation's happening. Do we need to go?
No, all right, I can't do it by myself anyway. I'm a pretty good judge of character. You wouldn't happen to be the sort that like to help just for the hell of it?
We find to be making it a bit of a profession out of it, honestly. Not in a we make money out of it, just in a that's pretty much all we're doing all the time kind of way.
I can't tell if it's my lucky day or if you're just foolish.
Yes.
A little both.
Okay.
What's going on?
Listen, y'all seem like capable folk, so let me shoot you straight. Thunder Pass, normally a really beautiful little town. I was born and raised here. Most people here are. Don't ever leave. That stretched on forever until about 3 years ago. There's a local bandit gang, the Skullduggers. They've been taking the town, using it as a stash of food and money, stopping in every few months to grab what the town has for protection, they say. I don't know what we need protection from, but they seem convinced we need it. Well,
They've been raising the amount they're demanding from us every year. For inflation and all that, they say. And, well, we fell short this year.
it was a hard harvest. Not much we could sell, not much we could give. We scrabbled what we could, but it wasn't enough. Skullduggers took it, left in a huff, and we thought maybe that'd be the end of it. We were naive. A few weeks ago, we had a wedding. All of you roll a perception check.
21.
I am not listening at all. That's at 1.
Oh, no.
First roll. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, that is your Jasmin. No.
Oh, boy.
Welcome.
Throw those dice out.
It'll get better from here.
Yeah, nowhere to go but up, man.
It has to.
Could be just ones from now on.
Don't say that.
Could be.
Go outside, dude. That's a dirty 20.
17 for Hayden.
Dirty 20, 17. What do I get?
21.
21. Okay. So
I'm staring wistfully into my beer.
all three party members are able to catch that the door to the back room through which the barmaid went through, it is cracked, and that she is standing at the door listening. And Lorraine says, well, a few weeks ago we had a wedding. And at that, you see the barmaid leave. And Lorraine says, beautiful occasion. Brad and groom had been sweethearts for years. The whole town turned out. Day of the wedding, well, it wasn't just the whole town that showed up. So did the Skullduggers, and not just any of them. Preacher Cassidy himself shows up. Says, we should be grateful for them. That we've grown lazy. That we only reap what we sow. Said celebrations are empty without hard work, and that he expects to see the results of our hard work soon. To remind us of what would happen without their protection, Preacher shot the groom.
Oh, hell, I'm so sorry.
That doesn't sound very preacherly to me.
There are very few preachers out there who are as kind as the ones that you've met.
Well, after that, Sheriff Layton said he'd had enough. Says we need to call in reinforcements and drive these parasites off. And she gestures and says, that's how we got Clementine here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're ever grateful because we don't really got much to offer It's, unfortunately, we're a little bit of a charity.
Now, I'll understand if you can't help with something like this, but I don't know that I can do it by myself.
Well, Salome might be able to elucidate this somewhat, but I believe I swore some kind of blood oath last week to protect the people of the Badlands, so I think I'm contractually obligated to help at this point.
Yeah, I think Hayden and I, at the very least, are both in.
I can see if my dad can donate.
Honey, your daddy ain't gonna donate to this.
Salome, as you are responding, you hear a voice in your head
Oh?
that says, "A message from Tiberius Jameson."
I love when the collect call intro
He
pops
always
up.
just pops in. I feel like I need caller ID.
You have caller ID. It announced him.
Christ. Okay.
Yeah, can you decline the call?
You hear, "War was declared with your gun, not mine. There can be no peace as long as murderers run unfettered. Come then and face justice."
Okay.
Salome, you all right?
Yeah, Miss Salome, you look like you've seen a ghost.
Yeah, I think Salome's turned pale. And just says, Tiberius responded and had some strong words to be expected. Nothing's changed.
Clementine, if you would like to roll a history check, you can.
Yes, I would. Oh, man. I am striking out so far.
Uh-oh.
Total, that's going to be a 6, so probably not.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
With a 6, Tiberius is familiar. It's not a name that you commonly run across. You feel like there might be an important Tiberius out there. You don't know who that might be, though.
Okay.
Or at least it's not coming to you right now.
Yeah, listen, the three of us are more than happy to help. I gotta warn you, though, if we do help, don't go spreading our names around. I think that'll bring you more trouble than you've already got. We are in a spot of trouble with Threed at the moment.
Oh.
So,
I'm not.
Wyatt's not. Hayden and I are in a bit of trouble with Threed at the moment.
So much.
If we help, I think just let us quietly slip out of town when we're done. Probably be the best thing for everybody.
Can I ask what happened?
Yeah.
I think we might need a round of drinks.
First round's on me.
Yeah, why don't we sit down and have a drink? We can talk about it.
Okay, so when we started, there happened to actually be a different person that was with these people. I just recently met them, but the story started with Salome shooting her husband, and Stump got attacked, and Hayden ran away, and then they all met and a mine collapsed. And then there was a whole big mob in Providence, which is on the east side of Twin River. Where Salome killed another guy.
Okay.
And then
I don't know why we got to do it like this.
And then we got to Twin River, and we kind of got in a fight with some people, like the Grand Inquisitor of the Church of the Eternal Flame, which I have some questions about, but we'll get there eventually, I'm sure, because I'd love to meet her. And then we rescued Salome's aunts from Blackthorn Hollow, which was really fun and really kind of weird. Sorry, we, not me. There was still a little guy named Stump who was still around at that point. And then we came back, and then we went back to try to rescue one of Hayden's friends.
Okay.
Then they went to the fairy realm where Stump kind of got taken over by like an eldritch god to save the day, and then he kind of flew away. And then they came back and rescued the friend, but then also Threed declared war on Twin River with a big train, and we blew it up.
Oh.
And now we're here on the way to Echo.
That was incredibly concise. And
Did I miss anything?
I mean, you lost some nuance, but otherwise, I think you got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Long story, even
Oh, there was a bear in there.
long story, even shorter. Hayden ran afoul of the church. My husband was Thaddeus Jameson, the owner of Jameson Manufacturing. His brother, Tiberius Jameson, Minister of the Interior, is currently after our ass, as well as invading the Badlands generally.
Oh, and I'm on a journey to just help.
And Wyatt's on a mission trip.
I just want to look right at Salome and say, I've known many a cruel man in my life. Was Did he deserve it?
Well, I used to say I didn't know, but I guess knowing what I know now, I think maybe he might have.
Yeah, he did.
Well, you're better for it. All right, that's all I need to know. I trust y'all.
Well, thank you. Hey, what about you, darling? Where'd you come from? How'd you make your way to Thunder Pass?
I'm not really from anywhere. I come and go. These small towns on the outskirts are where I make my home. I've only been here for a short while. I just want to get rid of those baddies as much as the next. So,
fair enough. Can I roll insight really quick?
Yeah, Jasmine, would you like to roll deception?
Sure. My numbers are improving. 9.
Nice. Hey,
See, we're getting there.
by the end, it'll be nat 20s.
It's gonna be nat 20s down the line.
That is a 23.
Ooh.
And I'm just curious. I'm trying to suss out the vibe of like if this feels like sort of a full information, or if it seems like there's something maybe a little bit more personal with Clementine and Thunder Pass, and just trying to suss out like who you are and why you're here to help and why you agreed to help by yourself.
Oh, sure. So I think you can tell that it's very clearly just broad strokes is what she's giving you. Mm-hmm. But she's not lying. She's not from here. She's rolled into town extremely recently. And she does have extremely good intentions for just wanting to help the town get rid of these guys.
All right. We all got our secrets.
As you are paused for a second, you hear a loud crash. You look over and you see that the barmaid has entered the room. The plates she was carrying, the bowls, have dropped from her hands and now are smashed at her feet. She lets out a gasp of horror, her face ghastly pale, and you turn to see what has petrified her. The doors of the saloon stand open, and a man blocks the doorway. Caked dirt lines the edges of his once black suit. Dust settled into its many creases. It's slightly oversized for the young man that wears it, as if it once belonged to a relative. Pale greenish skin, with glazed, milky eyes, you'd know this man was dead, even without noticing the bullet hole in his forehead. He stumbles forward, unseeing. His mouth opens, and without moving the mouth further, a voice emerges from within. Denizens of Thunder Pass, the time grows near for the harvest. You will have what we asked for in 1 week's time. Or we will begin to gather a new crop. For death is upon your doorstep. His shadowed hand is ringing your bell. Have you your sacrifice, or shall we take one from you? It is your choice. Deliver our goods in a week, or we will conscript you into our service. The barmaid collapses, falling into the food and plate shards at her feet. The messenger that wears the shell of her deceased groom turns, exiting as swiftly as he entered, into the darkness of the cold night.
Ooh, hell.
This is some sort of zombie, is what we're looking at, right?
He is undead.
And then he just turns around and leaves?
He turns around and he's leaving now. If there is anything you'd like to do to try and stop him, you can.
I'm going to go to the young woman instead.
Okay.
I was going to say, I think I'm more concerned with the barmaid.
Lorraine has already rushed over to the barmaid.
Holy hell, y'all. All right, so Preacher Cassidy ain't just killing folks. He's bringing them back to life.
Lorraine says, shit. I guess I didn't tell you they were necromancers.
Oh.
That is good to know.
Somewhat helpful information.
I have mending as a cantrip if I can help fix the bowls for them.
Absolutely. You line your finger along the edges of each bowl, and as you do, it's like a glue. It just comes back together.
Oh shit, I have a very quick idea. Actually, I think Salome just gets a really quick idea and actually runs from them and goes out to just look at the groom as he's walking away.
Okay.
Does he have a wisp?
Roll a charisma check.
I'm gunning for proficiency in this one day.
You'll get there.
That is a 24.
With a 24, you see that whatever wisp once inhabited this body is long gone.
Okay, so it's different from what Aletna was doing.
You believe that the groom is not here. His shell is here. He is not.
Okay.
You watch as the groom walks down the street, turns, and walks into the sheriff's office.
Oh, y'all, that might be a problem.
I go run after it. Wyatt runs after that.
Don't let him just run and win there by himself.
Zombie guy. Hey,
The groom pauses at the doorstep.
come here.
What are you doing?
Are you... Hold on. So point of order. Are y'all all outside at this point?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll go out with them.
Lorraine has helped the barmaid back into consciousness. You see that she didn't really sustain anything from the fall or from landing on the plates. Miraculously, she's pretty unhurt.
Mm-hmm.
You are outside. The groom stops at the doorway. His head turns, and the milky white eyes, unseeing, look at you.
Hey, come here as I'm like slowly walking towards it.
Kid, what are we doing?
The mouth opens once more and says, "Who bids me come?"
Hi, I'm Wyatt Forsythe.
Wyatt Forsythe.
Nice to meet you.
Good to know you.
Are you the preacher?
Not exactly in the flesh.
Well, I'd love to talk to you.
Stick around. We'll talk soon enough. At this point, the door opens, and a large minotaur man stands in the doorway and says, "What is going on at the hell?" As he is face to face with this zombified man. The man turns back and says, "I have delivered a message of reckoning upon your town. 1 week, sheriff." Then the man turns on his heel and walks down the front steps of the law office. He walks to the middle of town, outstretched arms, and says, "1 week." And then the body collapses in the middle of town.
This episode of Mage Hand High Five is sponsored by Multitude Productions and their actual play podcast, Join the Party, as part of their direct creator support initiative. Multitude Productions believes that podcasts are for people, not corporations, and that the actual play community is full of incredible creators telling some of the most imaginative stories in all of entertainment. Multitude offers high-quality and affordable production services and consulting to help podcast creators of any size capitalize on their own successes. Join the Party is an actual play podcast focused on genre-pushing storytelling and celebrating the artistry of its cast and collaborators, as well as being a love letter to the art form of actual play. Join the Party has multiple seasons available now, with stories ranging from swashbuckling pirate tales in a world of plants and bugs to a weird summer camp beset by monsters. Here's looking at you, Camp Craven fans. Tune in every Tuesday for new episodes of Join the Party. And who knows, if we're your third favorite actual play, they might just become your first or second. We hope you'll check out Multitude and Join the Party at jointhepartypod.com or connect with them at Join the Party Pod on Instagram, Blue Sky, Tumblr, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, be sure to let them know that Mage Hand High Five sent you and that their direct creator support initiative is working. And with that, on with the show.
Do you love audio fiction stories like Welcome to Night Vale or Old Gods of Appalachia? Are you looking for your next favorite podcast?
Or maybe you love actual play shows like Critical Role, but don't always have time to sit down to a 3-hour show with hundreds upon hundreds of episodes.
Then you'll love The Adventures of Bud and Herb, a podcast that is made to binge with episodes around 30 minutes of non-stop, irreverent, yet wholesome fun set in an immersive fantasy world.
Follow along as best friends Bud and Herb, that's us, race against time to find an elusive, monstrous cryptid that has snatched a little boy from our idyllic little town of Mistress Glen.
I'm Bud, the Deep Gnome Rogue.
And I'm Herb, the Turtle Folk Barbarian Chef. Each episode we dig deeper into the mystery of the Cinderwood Walker.
A beast so terrifying it can kill with only its stench. Find out if we live to smell tomorrow.
Listen to the adventures of Bud and Herb wherever cryptids hide.
Or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, my name is Robin.
And my name is Dylan.
Do you like Choices Matter video games?
If so, we started this podcast, Dorkspawn, so that I could show my best friend my favorite RPG series of all time, Dragon Age.
And now that I've played it, we want to share more of these choice-heavy games with each other.
Right now, Robin is showing me Mass Effect, which I have never played before.
And we are going to continue playing through these games together and discussing them book club style as we go.
You can join our Discord and play along with us, and tune into Dorkspawn every Friday wherever you listen to.
Well, Sheriff Layton, you may as well get a shovel and help us figure this thing out.
You see the sheriff's law shirt is like unbuttoned. He's like scrambling to tuck it back in and rebutton it as he was sort of hastily getting up to answer the door, and says, "Yeah, sounds good, Clementine."
What's going on? Is it past your bedtime? Come on, Sheriff, let's go.
The sarcasm it fits you. I'm gonna grab it. Okay. He goes back inside.
Clementine,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long you've been here, but you come up with any kind of plan or anything?
I don't have much of a plan yet. This town is in this position because they went along with everything the Skullduggers wanted for too long. They took, and there's nothing left to take. And so this town needs to make a stand, and honestly, I don't know if they have the backbone for it.
I find that most of the people out here have a little more backbone than they think they do.
I hope you're right. Wyatt?
Yeah?
Why don't you go inside and have yourself some stew? We'll come in along after you, after we take care of this. And why don't you keep that young lady company for a while? We don't want her coming out here and seeing this again.
Okay.
Well, that was easy.
One thing about Wyatt, he's pretty agreeable.
Wyatt, you head back into the saloon. The sheriff comes back out in a second with a couple shovels. He passes them out and says, "Right, I'll take you to the cemetery."
I'll pick up the groom to carry him, and as I'm doing that, I want to cast Gentle Repose on him. You touch a corpse or other remains, and for 10 days, the target is protected from decay and cannot become undead.
Hey.
The sheriff goes to pick up the body, and you pick him up first. And Layton goes, "Oh, okay. Damn.
Got you covered.
Cool.
You're good.
All right.
Take a load off. Get your shirt tucked in. Also, your buttons are a little out of line. You got one of the top ones not really
Oh, hell.
going with the second one. It's all right.
Right.
Take a minute. I got the body.
He quickly starts to unbutton and then looks at the three of you and then quickly turns around and starts rebuttoning. Wyatt, you head in. The barmaid is now sitting up. Lorraine is comforting her. And Lorraine looks at you, and you can tell by her face she's like, is it done?
Wyatt nods and goes over to the barmaid. "Hey, what's your name?"
She seems a little out of it. She says, Lillian.
"Hey, Lillian, I'm Wyatt. So, what was he like?"
She just cries. And Lorraine holds her close. And as she cries, Lillian says, he was perfect. He was perfect. And she just says that over and over. The body is buried. You all get your bowls of soup. And as you do, Sheriff Layton is at the counter. He says, all right, it's good to meet y'all, and it's good to know there are people out there who would stop and help a town like ours. It's hard to find these days.
Well, Clementine's here leading the charge, and we are happy to help however we can. I don't know, we only got a week. Seems like it's about time to have a little meeting, regroup, see what kind of resources we do have, and think on what we need to do next.
I figure there are 4 things that we can do to get this town ready. Y'all seem like kind folks. 4 people, small numbers for these folks. They're rough.
How many of them are there?
It's the 3 of them.
It's the 3 of them, and then they got a couple lackeys. And, the people they raised from the ground.
Well, what about those 3? Who are they?
There's a feller named Johnny Mad Dog Scoggins. Scoggins is he's an animal. I think he just wants to watch the world burn. I think that's just it. I mean, I think even the other ones are scared of him. He's a dog on a leash.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Baba Sue Clayford. I think she's the brains behind the operation. I think she comes down to 2 hobbies: hurting people and thinking up new ways to hurt people. And then Preacher Cassidy. Preacher's the top dog. He's the one in charge. He's charming. I think he tries to fight with words, and then when that fails, he just kills. Them's the 3 you gotta watch out for.
So what do you reckon we can do to get the town ready?
Well, I figure first, combat training.
Wyatt salivates.
You see, I'm probably the most experienced fighter in the town, and
no offense, Sheriff, but that doesn't say a whole lot for this town.
Well, I was going to use that moment as self-deprecation, but you covered the deprecation part.
I got your back.
As long as somebody gets to it.
So I figure there's combat training. We place traps. It's a lady in town, sort of a tinkerer, used to work out of the mines back when we were a mining town. She might have some ideas about how to rig up some nasty inventions.
What's her name?
That's Linda Maycroft. And then after that, I figure we can take down some of the fences around town, set up some barriers. What do you call them? Log jams?
Create a choke point.
Exactly. See, y'all got all the words. The last thing is there's a section of about 30 townsfolk who don't want any part of this. They say, old way's the best way. We just scrounge up what we can. We give it over to the skullduggers, whatever they want. And they say the fighting is only going to get us all killed. And they're led by a man named Pete Tiller. And, I need help convincing Pete Tiller that he has a duty to this town. Because I ain't exactly persuasive.
What's Pete Taylor's situation? What's he motivated by?
Pete's kind of a son of a bitch, you know?
Yeah, I do.
Listen, I love everybody in this town. He's a crusty old bastard. Lorraine is just nodding. I think maybe deep down, there's sort of a heart of gold situation.
Right.
But it might be more a nugget of gold, and it's deep, deep down.
All right, so we got to do some digging.
And I'm not panning for gold today.
That was really funny.
Maybe I can fix them, but not in the amount of time that we have.
Yeah, we only got a week.
Well, I mean, if we can convince him he's old-fashioned, he thinks hard work will persevere through the end of the day. I think deep down he cares deeper than we might expect.
I think we just might be able to get through to him. And what about you, Miss Clementine? What kind of skills you got in your back pocket?
I've mostly spent my life working with arcane arts, and I've spent the last few years working up a few other skills as well.
That's exciting. What kind of other skills?
Is there a glass towards the end of the bar or anything? Something like 10 feet away?
Yeah.
I take out my whip and I precisely hit it and shatter it.
Oh.
A whip! Dynamo Tex! Do you know Dynamo Tex?
No.
Dynamo Tex is this movie star who's always using his signature whip, and it's super cool that you use one.
I'm glad you're having a nice time. And then I feel bad, and I go over and I mend that glass too.
Lorraine says, "Oh, thank you."
I guess functionally out of character.
Yeah.
Should I tell them more specifically?
If you'd like to introduce your class, absolutely.
So Clementine is a wizard, but a blade singer wizard. So it's almost kind of like a wizard that also has a rage function.
That's so good. Oh, that's really fun.
The sheriff says, "Right, well, now that we know we have a week, as the benevolent preacher has already told us so, I guess starting tomorrow we can get started on our tasks." Out of game, I will let you know, of these 4 tasks, the combat training will be an athletics check. Placing traps, I'll take sleight of hand, survival, or nature. Setting up the barriers will be survival or nature. And convincing the townsfolk to fight, I'll take persuasion or deception.
Wyatt's not really good at any of those skills, but he could probably cast some spells or something to help with traps around the city.
Okay.
I've got a lot of protection spells, including Hallow, which I would have to spend a day casting on the biggest building in town.
Ooh, what does that do?
Undead creatures can't get in.
Oh, that's
Nice.
really
That's
helpful.
the short version. There's a lot more, but that's the short version, and it takes me 24 hours to cast it.
I feel like that's a worthwhile day, though.
That sounds like you have lots of skills.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not those skills.
I have a +10 to survival.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you do, Clementine.
Clementine has had a hard life.
I got good persuasion and decent athletics.
You should probably cover the athletics because persuasion is far and away my strongest.
All right, sure.
Okay, so I believe that is combat training is Salome. Convincing the rest of the townsfolk to fight is Hayden. Jasmine, are you good with taking up setting up barriers?
Sounds good.
So the way the town is set up, it is just one street. All of the buildings are so close together that it is those old-timey ghost towns where there's just no alleyways between each building.
Mm-hmm.
So truly, the only way into and out of town are one of the 2 entrances. Why don't we start with combat training?
All right.
Salome,
Yeah.
Sheriff Layton spreads the word, and at dawn the next day, there are 12 townspeople ready for combat training out of 127.
I was going to say, I think Salome looks at the 12 and goes, "Good morning. What are we looking at percentage-wise for the amount of folks that showed up today?"
One of them shouts, "Less than 10%.
Thank you so much. That is some quicker math than I could do this early in the morning.
You're welcome. I'm pretty good at math.
I don't think you have to shout, honey. We're all right here.
All right." As you are talking to these folks, there's one guy that seems just focused in. He looks like a simple farmer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a young human. You catch at some point his name is Tommy Leary. And Tommy seems just like he's a golden boy. Like he wants to help. He's not very smart, but he's a good guy. And he's honed in. Every word you say, he's taken in.
I'll keep track of that. I think Salome is in an interesting position because her attack modifier is charisma. I think the first day feels a little bit counterintuitive to people.
Okay.
Because I think the first day, Salome starts training in the only way she knows how and in the only way she was taught by her family, which is to meditate, essentially, and to build up a deeper and stronger connection with the people around them, with the ground itself, and with the river connecting life between them.
Okay.
And I think we spend the first 24 hours of this training becoming a unit. On the first kind of break, Salome pulls Tommy aside and says, "Howdy there, dear heart. You done a lot of this before?"
No, but fighting's kind of like farming.
You look excited to be here. What drives you?
I ain't never been asked that before.
All right, you can take your time.
Usually I'm driving, and it's horses. But, well, Thunder Pass is all I know. And if people are coming to destroy Thunder Pass, then I don't know anything else. You gotta fight for what's yours.
Yeah, I know that just about as much as anybody. Well, I think these people know you. I think they like you. I think they respect you. I see how everybody else here is looking at you. I can't expect to just walk in off the street and have everybody trust me. Especially not after what y'all have been through. So, I would be so grateful to have you be somebody these people are looking up to.
Oh, you want I be your captain? You're like general.
Let's not put labels on it, but if you won't be the captain, you can be the captain.
Well,
I'm kind of shooting from the hip here, if I'm being honest with you.
Captain Leary sounds right good.
I think it does.
He salutes.
Salome salutes back. You think you can keep your troops in line?
Yeah. Anything you say, General.
All right, Captain Leary.
Attention.
First assignment.
Uh-huh.
Get 12 more tomorrow.
Done.
And
he starts to run off, and then he hears you say and comes right back.
Oh, honey, we're on like a little break. Everybody's having lunch. We're about to get back into it.
Oh, right. Do it later. Got it.
Yeah, later. Like, we got our dozen here today. We're kind of building up a little unit, and I figure I'll send everybody off to go get more people tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have about 3 times the amount tomorrow, if my guess is right.
You got it. Absolutely.
Thanks, Captain. And I think Salome spends the day not just teaching people how to fight, but teaching people how to fight together.
Roll an athletics check.
It's only an 11.
The next day, 17 people show up. 3 of them were Tommy. 3 of them Tommy brought in.
Tommy is duplicating.
Oh, I was like, damn.
Tommy reproduces asexually?
Tommy split into 3 people, and he did not tell you about that. No, you know what? I'll say that 2 of them are Tommy's brothers.
Oh, that's cool.
Tommy and Toomey.
Timmy and Terry.
I'll take it.
God. Wyatt. Early dawn the next day, you are approached by a half-elfin woman who says, "You're the traps guy, huh?"
That's me. Linda, was it?
Yep, that's what people call me.
Nice to meet you. I'm Wyatt.
So this is what we're working with, huh? All right.
I'm not going to lie, I'm not the best at trap things, but I've got some spells might be able to do some things with.
Oh, shit. All right, well, let's see what you got, kid. Shoot off a spell.
Once the barriers are set up,
Okay.
I would like to cast Glyph of Warding in both entrances.
Okay.
And I'm going to use the spell glyph version, which lets me put a spell of 3rd level or lower into the glyph that will activate once an undead creature walks over it. And the spell I'm putting in it is going to be Magic Circle.
Okay. So that would trap them.
So yeah, and I'm going to make it so any undead creatures in the circle cannot leave.
Ooh.
Okay. You place these, and Linda's just sort of judging over your shoulder. And she says, all right, what does that do? That traps them.
Yeah. And then so if they're trapped, I can still shoot fire on them. Other people can slash at them or shoot them with bows or whatever works for them. They just can't get out.
All right. Maybe you got some use after all. You got any familiarity with dynamite?
No, but I could.
Great. See, back in the olden days, I used to work up there. And she points up to the mountain, to Mount Thunder. Mines ran dry, closed it down, we became farming town. But, well, last I checked, there were still some caches of that blasting powder up there. And I'm thinking, maybe we just procure a couple cases.
I think that sounds like a pretty good idea.
All right, come along. She immediately starts walking.
Just toward the mountain.
Yeah.
More walking.
Cool.
Oh, fine. Okay.
It is.
How?
It's a process. Max, roll a d4.
2.
You are able to procure 2 barrels of blasting powder, all wrapped up in blasting sticks.
Wyatt goes to roll them down the hill.
You, Wyatt, you like mime like like rolling it down the hill, and Linda just slaps you up the backside of your head and says, "No, what the hell's wrong with you?"
That's the quickest way to get them down.
Well, shit. You know what? If the Skullduggers don't destroy the town, why don't we just take care of it first?
Because that would be bad.
Exactly. She starts carrying the barrel down the hill. Says, "Come on, Squirt."
Fine.
You carry him back. Let me have you roll sleight of hand, survival, or nature.
That's going to be sleight of hand, which is +1.
Okay.
But that's going to be a dirty 20.
Nice. There you go.
Okay.
Yay.
Ain't nobody getting in this town.
Clementine, you are surveying the wood fences, and you see that there is a small goblin man, straight-backed, hands behind his back, sort of surveying each of the fences. He side-eyes you
Hello.
and says, "I think we're doing the same task.
I think you're right. I'm here to help secure this town.
And secure it we shall." He extends a hand and says, "Bran Longfellow."
I extend mine back. You can call me Clem.
Righty, Clem. I think they've got me on log jams on account of my military background and my strategic intelligence.
I was thinking I can help with making this area very difficult to traverse. I can also create a bit of a moat around your barricades, if that sounds useful. It's going to take some time, but it's doable.
Damn. It's a good idea. Wish I'd thought of that.
This is a 2-person job. We're working together here.
Wish we'd got more of your thinking back in the unit. Ready. So I figure we take down these fences, set them crosswise. We got some log jams.
Sounds good. And then I can, 5 feet at a time, I can excavate dirt. And I can also use bend earth to make any area difficult terrain.
Oh,
Very
cool.
nice.
Okay.
And it's a cantrip.
Oh,
Bend
that's
earth is sick.
so good.
Yeah, it is.
Roll survival with advantage.
I didn't roll amazing, but a 12 plus 10 is a 22.
Yeah, it is. That's
Ooh,
great.
Okay. You set up barriers along the back end of town and along the front end of town to bottleneck the group coming in and to keep them in place. You have the log jams with their pointed ends facing out of town, and you begin digging the trench in front. And as you start wrapping up, Bran looks at you, says, "Good digging. Never seen digging without hands before."
Thank you. I've been working on this one a while.
Is that something I can learn?
Are you good at magic? I feel like you could. This is not a very complicated spell. I can do this as many times as I would like in a single day. So maybe. I show him it, and the way it works too is that it just carves out a 5-foot block essentially, and it lifts the dirt out of the air. It doesn't like disappear. It's just the dirt is out of the air.
Could have used that when we were burying a body with a shovel yesterday.
I wasn't thinking about it, Dan. Thank you.
somewhere in combat training, Salome's back hurts.
It was a matter of respect. You had to do it by hand.
Yeah, that's fair. You got to bury a body by hand. That's true.
You do that, and Brand goes, right, my turn. He rubs his hands together, and then puts his hands out in front of him, and literally nothing happens.
Can I, behind him, make another one come out of the ground? That's so
It comes out of the ground, he says, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
I'm just going to drop it. Oh, wow. You did it.
I think I've got the gift.
I think so. That was real good work you did.
Well, that's a little scary, so I might hold off on that for a bit.
All right. That's great. I'm going to keep moving these I don't know where the mounds are going to go, but they'll go somewhere.
Dirt always goes somewhere, I guess. That's what my mom used to say.
This guy's just
So
a good
earnest.
nugget of knowledge.
This guy's a tough hang.
Great. You get the barriers all set up. Hayden, Sheriff Layton comes and meets you first thing in the morning and says, right, we're gonna go over to Old Man Tiller's place. We're gonna try and talk to him, and you got anything that you are thinking you might say?
Whew.
Any plan of attack?
I mean, has anyone ever convinced this man to do something before?
No. Not in the years I've known him. I mean, I moved here about 5-10 years back, and well, I was pretty young back then, and first time I met Old Man Tiller, he looked at me and said, why don't you make yourself useful? Well, I think he does all the convincing, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I think we can work with that.
Sheriff Layton takes you over. As he does, you see him sort of wiping his hands on his jeans like he's a little nervous. He goes and knocks on the door, and the first thing you hear from the other side is, "Fuck off, Layton."
I mean, you heard the man.
Layton sort of looks at you and shrugs and walks on down the steps.
All right, Tiller, he's gone. Mind chatting with me?
Hell are you?
Just someone here to help. But I hear that you're the man who has the real ideas around here, so I figured I'd give you a listen.
The door cracks open. You see it's on a chain,
Yeah.
and there's still the screen door between you and him. You just see one sort of old bloodshot eye peek out. He says, "What do I call you?"
I mean, you can call me whatever the hell you like. My name is Hayden Kincaid, but if you want to call me Dirty Rat Bastard, I'll answer to it.
Pete Tiller.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Now, to my understanding, you're the real brains of this whole outfit. And you know we're in the shit here. I'm here to lend a hand, give all the help I can, but I could always use more. And I feel like you're the one who really has a sense for what's going on here, so I'd love to bend your ear for a minute if you don't mind.
Glad someone around here's finally understanding. You got a minute.
A minute? All right.
59.
Oh, okay. We gotta put a pause on that clock immediately. Here's the deal. My friends and I have taken on some serious threats. We have prevented a mass mind fuckery over in the town of Providence. We stopped these unnatural, malformed beings down in the mines underneath Blackthorn Hollow. We stopped a Jameson train from barreling through Twin River. But this is something new. And you know what? I'm not from here. I don't live here. As much as I'm going to try to help, there's no way that I'm going to have the perseverance and the dedication to keeping this town alive like someone who has been here and lived here and felt the soil the way that you have. I know you've been around the block, but I think that together we can make a bit of a difference. Do you mind just very briefly if I shake your hand?
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. 23.
There's a pause, and the door slams shut.
Ooh.
There's a moment, and then you hear the of the chain unlatching.
Yeah.
The door opens back up, and you see this guy is like Clint Eastwood. Like he's older than dirt at this point, and he looks like he's made of dirt. Like he is just
Oh, yeah.
he looks mean. He opens the door and says, "Well, right about one thing. Can't count on outsiders for everything." He puts out a hand.
I grab it and I cast Enhance Ability. And taking a look at this guy, he's been around the block, so he probably doesn't quite feel as hardy as he once did, so I'm going to give him Bull's Strength.
He recoils his hand and said, "What? Did you do something?"
Just a little helping hand. I've got a bit of a connection with the land, with the earth, with nature, and I asked it for permission to give you a little bit of your old vitality back for a short while. It'll be gone by tomorrow, but if you need it again, I can give it to you.
He puts his hands up and starts punching the air. He says, "Shit. I ain't been able to do that about 4 years now. You say you can do this whenever you want?"
I gotta keep my focus on it, but yeah.
He turns and punches the railing on his porch, and it splinters beneath his blow.
Ooh, you know, I actually have a friend who can fix that for you too, if you want.
Says, "Don't bother, I'll fix it myself."
All right, that's what I'm talking about. There we go.
And you think, give it to me straight, you think taking on this gang, that's the way we do this?
Hey, we take them on, or they take y'all out. I don't think there's another way to go, and I don't think y'all want to leave.
He sighs and says, "My grandfather helped build this town."
And you're gonna help keep it here.
Oh, shit, I am. He claps you on the back and says, "Let me talk to some of these other fuckers, and maybe we can convince some of these lazy-ass bums to get themselves out and fighting too."
You should head over to the combat training too. I bet they could get a good look at that right hook. Get some confidence going.
Yeah, I reckon they ought to learn a thing or two from the pro. He like cracks his knuckles and starts walking down the stairs. He stumbles a little bit and then heads on over to the combat.
In the distance, you see at the combat training, it's a field that's like a circle of people putting flowers in each other's hair.
It's team building.
Pete Tiller,
So cute.
Pete Tiller gets there and goes, "What in the ever-loving fuck?"
Howdy, darling. Welcome. Come on in. You must be Pete Tiller. Pleasure to meet you. Put a flower behind his ear.
He immediately takes it out.
All right, well.
God, as he leaves, Leighton turns to you, Hayden, and says, "We might stand a chance."
I think we might.
The final day happens. Wyatt, you spend that day casting Hallow over the tavern. It's the biggest building in town. There's a big old water tower on top.
Yeah, so Hallow lets me create a holy area with a 60-foot radius that basically says a certain creature type can't enter the area, which I'm absolutely picking undead in this situation. Additionally, I can pick one additional effect, and I'm going to pick courage, which means the affected creatures inside of it can't be frightened while in it.
Aww. You create a safe space, a place free of undead and free of fear. And wisps of that spell pass through the tavern as you are weaving it. And so there are moments as Lorraine goes about her day that she stops, breathes in some fresh air, and then goes about her work with renewed confidence. And same with Lillian, who for the first time in the past week has felt a little less fearful. And that night, Leighton gathers you all in the tavern and says, I know you were all getting drinks on the house this whole time, but he takes out money and puts it down on the counter and says, I think it's the symbolism of the act that's most important.
Yeah, it always feels better when somebody else pays for it. Thanks, Sheriff.
I can't really know why y'all are doing the things that you're doing. Listen, y'all do what you do, and I think you got a place to stay here forever. Hell, we might even try and get a statue of you. I don't know.
Careful, darling. Wait till you find out what the bounty on my head is. You might change your mind.
He sort of looks at you and says, I don't want to know.
You're right about that.
I don't want to know.
Wyatt gets ready again.
Solomon puts a hand on his mouth.
Bold saying that right in front of the sheriff.
Well,
you know what? I got enough criminals to worry about. Whatever y'all done, don't matter here. Clementine, I guess I don't think this would have happened without you. I mean, maybe these kind folks would have helped on their own. Maybe they wouldn't. But you stopped without anybody stopping first.
I thank you kindly, Sheriff Leighton, for your kind words, and I can't let the Skulldugers get away with anything else. I can't.
I'll drink to that.
mm-hmm.
He holds up a glass and says, to the Duggars getting what's theirs.
To the Duggars getting what's theirs, and hopefully more.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
May the flame keep us warm.
Yep.
Yeah, that too.
Also that.
Leighton sort of quirks his head like, oh, okay. And then takes a drink.
Tastes a little bitter now. I think, a few drinks in, I think we're just kind of enjoying the night. I do think Salome comes up after a week of training to Clementine and says, listen, I gotta ask, and I know traveling out here by yourself, you gotta keep a lot of things close to the vest, but what brought you out here? We might die together tomorrow, so why this town? Why'd you stop to help?
Well, I never lied to you. I haven't had a home per se in a long time. I've been traveling for quite a while. And I lost someone important a few years ago. And I haven't had a sense of meaning in my life in quite some time. And I'd been living for a few months in a small town called Porter's Run. And those monsters came into a small bank at one point while I was there, and they robbed the joint, including myself. And, well, let's just say I finally found something to fight for.
Well, I'm glad you made it out here, and glad you found some kind of purpose.
Me too.
Guess it does beg the question, though, of are you going to be okay after the Skullduggers are taken care of? What comes after this?
After what happened, I don't know I'm ever going to be okay, but I'm trying.
The person you lost, what was their name, if you don't mind me asking?
Twyla.
Twyla. That's a beautiful name.
for a beautiful girl.
Was she your daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, Clem, I am so sorry you've had to go through that. I always wanted to be a mama. Never got the chance just yet, but for what it's worth, you strike me as a damn good mother.
I tried.
I think you've succeeded. And Salome raises a glass and says, well, may the flame keep us warm.
May the flame keep us warm, and I cheers you.
Hayden noticeably takes an extra drink every time someone says that.
Oh, God, the only time that damn kid takes his foot out of his mouth is to put the other one in.
I'm a rapper little lady and I'm wearing a hat. Oh, I don't have my hat. Oh.
Darling, we are fighting tomorrow.
You all enjoy each other's company in this small tavern, in this small town, in this small corner of a very big, bad land. And the night passes all too quickly. And with the rising of the sun comes the rising of a feeling deep within. Fear, courage, both. As the townspeople get up, as they bring out their pitchforks and guns and just about anything they could scrabble together to fight with. Salome, you see Pete Tiller with a colander on his head.
That sounds about right.
Hayden, Leighton sort of nudges you and says, damn, I still don't know how you did that.
Sometimes you just gotta let people know they still matter.
Is the colander the precursor to like tinfoil hats?
Gotta be. Gotta be.
We gotta fill in those holes.
Oh my gosh. Wyatt, as you are walking out, Linda hands you a stick of dynamite.
Oh.
And says, well, kid, for what it's worth, it was nice knowing you.
What? Are you gonna what?
What?
You just are you gonna blow me up?
No, I figure we're all gonna die.
Oh, no, we're not. We got this.
She smiles,
The
ruffles your
confidence.
head, and says, oh, kid, if only you'd grow up.
We made a train like a week and a half ago.
I don't know what that means. She says, but you know what? I'd trust you with a stick of dynamite, so we'll see how this rolls out.
Let's do it. And in my hand that's not holding the dynamite, I produce a little flame in my hand.
Shit, kid.
We'll be okay.
As you walk out, Salome, you see Tommy Leary on the front lines. You see he's padded his clothing with pillows, just about anything he could find.
Looking good, Captain.
He looks at you, salutes again, says, is it?
You believe in this place?
Is that a trick question?
No, sir.
Well, yeah, believe in it more than anything else.
You willing to die for it?
Reckon I am.
If you don't, you willing to live for it?
It seems like a harder question. Yeah.
Good. When Salome claps him on the shoulder, and I know the casting time is a little off on this, but we've got time.
That's fine.
I'm going to do what I did with Hayden in Twin River and cast Ceremony Dedication on him, which will give him a D4 to saving throws for the next day, I believe.
You awkwardly stand there with your hand clasped on his shoulder for an hour.
I clasp my hand on his shoulder and just touch it for an hour. No, I think to allow for this time, I think I tuck his hair behind his ear and just plant a little seed back there that just grows into a little flower over the next hour or so.
And at some point in the preparations, he finds that there's a flower behind his ear that he didn't know was there before. And he keeps it there. Clementine, at one point, Bran comes up to you, says, I think the fortifications will hold.
It's looking mighty fine. Thank you so much for your help.
I tried moving dirt. Didn't come to me as quick. His eyes sort of narrow. Says, I don't have the touch, do I?
I may have helped with that first one.
Well,
You understand morale and...
Oh, no. Morale is important, and honestly, magic's scary as sin. So,
That's fair.
I might leave that to more capable folks. He nods towards you.
You did help a lot, though. I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
If he heads off, too, and, like, kind of around the outskirts of town, I want to go, like, behind a building slightly.
Sure.
And in a little nook, perhaps, where nobody else would probably come by, so not by a door or anything.
Okay.
I'd like to cast Snare. And just leave a snare where I know where it is.
So, the way I envision the town right now, like the town is closed off at one end, and the barriers come almost to a point that's open so that it only leads for one place to come in.
So it's not like around the backside. We're using the backsides of the buildings as part of the barrier?
Yeah.
No, that's fine too. Alternatively, I would go into a maybe rundown building or a building that's not in use.
Okay.
Maybe on like the edges, perhaps, or something that seems like a back room.
Okay. So there is right on the outskirts, there seems to be what looks like the headquarters of the old mining company that is defunct. And the building has sort of been turned into semi-storage since then. Okay. So you head to the back room and cast a secret snare that only you know about. Would you tell me the definition of snare real quick?
It lasts for 8 hours, and I cast the spell, and a 5-foot radius on the ground, there's like a magical rope, and then the rope becomes invisible. You would have to pass an intelligence check against my spell save DC in order to see it, and you would have to be looking for a trap there. And then what the trap does is if anybody walks on it, it grabs them like a snare and by one leg hoists them, and they're stuck in the trap until the spell ends, or they can successfully pass a Dex 16 save.
Okay, cool. You cast the secret snare that only you know about.
I may be able to use it, I may not, but yeah.
Cool. I hope
I'm
you
just
get
putting
to.
this snare.
Could be fun.
It's Chekhov's snare.
Chekhov's snare.
Chekhov's snare. God.
Oh, no.
Is there anything else y'all want to do that morning?
Yeah, so listen, this is like a little bit metagamey, but I don't want to lose the spell slot. So I think Salome's going to wake up real early and just as quietly as I can tiptoe to a point between you all. And I'm going to cast Aid on the three of you, which will give all of you an extra 5 HP to your hit point maximum and your current HP.
Not even temp?
Nope, not even temporary.
Wow.
Yeah, and it is also not concentration, so it'll just last for 8 hours.
Ooh.
And then I go back to bed to get that short rest in and refuel that spell slot.
I also was thinking possibly doing just a couple of like little wooden signs.
Ooh, okay.
Because I can also ritual cast illusory script to give them an opportunity to turn around on either side.
May I ask, what do the signs say?
I want the signs to say, Bobby Sue, you bottom-feeding hustler. I'm gonna enjoy what happens to you next.
Oh, damn.
The sun rises slowly in the sky, blood red, and then disappears behind a heavy layer of cloud. It's overcast today. The townspeople gather in the square, ready and not ready for what comes next. And there's a silence, a really dreaded silence falling over the town as each person steadies themselves with however this turns out. Some of the people who are unable to fight gather in the tavern, less afraid than the people that line the streets. Hands shake at the trigger, and then someone shouts, "Look!" You all look up at Mount Thunder and see rolling down the mountainside a dense fog. It rolls silently, closer and closer to town. It hits the wall of buildings, and then you see it move around over the barriers and begin flooding into the town. And then more silence. You can still see about 60 feet ahead of you. And as you stand in the street, you hear footsteps. And you see a figure running through the fog towards the front barrier in town.
What does it look like?
You only see a vague outline that becomes clearer as they approach. And then as they approach, you get to see more and more of the figure that it is. You see large horns. You see a tall, muscular body. They run in and stop right inside the barrier. Some of the townspeople flinch with their weapons, and Leighton says, "Wait, Dad?" The figure walks forward, and you see the undead Minotaur standing before you. It stops and bumps into the magic circle. It stands there, head cocked, horns askew, and then it turns. And as it does, you all become aware of and you look to see a stick of dynamite sticking out of the back of his neck. And then, boom.
Oh, God.
It explodes into meat chunks, decorating the town. And then you hear it echoing all around you. Laughter. Deep, demonic laughter. And that is where we'll pick up next session.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Mage Hand High Five, the Badlands. Want to show your support for our show? Want to hear us talk more about it? Then check out our Patreon at patreon.com/magehandhigh5. For just $5 a month, you can get all kinds of extra goodies. You can get shout-outs. You can get early access to merch. You can get character playlists. You can get a whole extra podcast, Mage Hand Down Low, where we talk about the behind the scenes of the episodes. All that and more for just $5 a month. Head on over to patreon.com/magehandhigh5 to learn more. Thanks to Jacob Kirsner for our music and Shane Smith for our logo and cover art. Check out our website at www.magehandhigh5.com and look for us all across social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Discord, Blue Sky, and wherever else we may be. We're going to be there at Mage Hand High 5. Go to your podcatcher of choice and throw a 5-star review our way. Seriously, it makes a huge difference for us. It helps us grow the audience, and it's a great way to show your love for us. So please head on over, give us a 5-star review. It makes a huge difference. And now I'm going to shout out all of our subscribers on Patreon. And as usual, I'm going to do it in one breath. Lindsay, Dale Heimbecker, DM Dippy Fresh, Darth Zelda, Deborah Jacobson, Jackson Maurer, Ocarina Sonata, Tal Manier, Mads the Jelly Cube, Sky Cow, Elephantasmal, Morgan Faber, Kathleen Ayers, Andrew, Kellen Wilbur, Trout Relief, Chronic Dreamer, Patrick Hickman, Debbie, Nathan Ritter, Chicken Too Tasty, Evan Noon, Avery Spar, AM Lovelies, Alison DeVelvis, Das Carpenter, Diana Bacon, Al Forrest Oakey, Liz Spar, Carrie Lee, Jonathan Gunn, Tyler Gardner, Eldisol, Julata Pang, Laura Al, Chloe Utley, and Sammy Richardson. Tell your friends about the show. Tell your foes about the show. Tell the little people that live in cupboards and under the stairs and cracks in the walls in your home and just want to steal buttons and make little tiny, incredibly small shirts and pants and fight against your cat and dog and mice to get little scraps from your table. They're called borrowers, I think. And when you do it, use the hashtag MHH5. And hey, how about a high five?